Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here, and we are at Weeds Day, and we are going to record this freaking show here. Let's see if we can find the record button. And we are letting the Vivster in. And here we go, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here with Weeds Day, and you can see by the cornucopia of my incredible life here that we're giving thanks to have the OG in my upcoming article for Chronic Magazine. I just talked to Joe Chronic this morning. He's really excited to have Vivian being honored in his magazine. I've done a really great thing, and I'll show it to you in a second, everybody. But first, before I welcome in Vivian and show you everything, I want to show you my 40, maybe 50-year-old t-shirt that never dies. And you know what? This t-shirt glows in the freaking dark. Yeah. So, hello, Vivian. I'm going to get started here, and so I'm going to share my screen. This is Vivian, everybody, McPeak, and he's the peakster. He peaked out back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, giving the world what they deserved, something that should have never been illegal. Marijuana festival. Protestival. So we'll get to you in a second, but say hello to everybody, and then I'm going to go and show one thing here. Say hey. Hey, well, it's not 420, but it could be, and Vivian will tell you about what happens at 420 at HempFest in a second. I'm going to share my screen with you all here. Here we go. Okay, and come back to here. And I'm just going to, before I show our intro, everybody, take a load of this, everybody. Boom. Let's see if I can get this up here. Add to stage. I'm learning this.
I got so damn high that I couldn't ride my bike home. My mama told me all along my brain cells would be gone. She ain't wrong. I'm still stoned.
So she's still stoned, but I'm gonna also give you our intro, and while we're at it here, we're on the stage here. Welcome everybody.
President Trump, please release and pardon Edwin Rubis. He is still in prison for a non-buy cannabis crime.
Free the prisoners, free the plant, free the planet, free yourself.
Episode 303. Good afternoon, everybody. Rest in peace, brother E-Love from Public Enemy, and Joe Chronic's incredible friend and partner in crime, and help us from the other side, E-Love. Your music was beautiful, and you stood for everything that we're doing right now. It looks like a lot of people are getting on board the wagon train, to do protest music. We have Stash Wagner. We have doing a remake of Don't Bogart That Joint, and we have incredible help from Joe Chronic. We met Joe in Seattle this week, so Joe and I are now bros for life, and he's going to help with the concert and everything else. So keep it going, you guys, and keep it flowing. My heart is out for you and the whole community when we lose a OG from the Cannabis Society and space that we have. But Rip, brother.
Let me see that magazine, man. Let me see that. Who on the cover, man?
We got plenty of them.
Best of all time. No doubts about it.
We won't hold back. We're not going to hold back.
Y'all.
E-Love, we love you.
Cannabis is the greatest plant on this earth, and it should be used properly. And don't believe all that negative propaganda that has been forced upon us over the last 100 years or so.
I'm running a cannabis art gallery with beautiful images on hemp and hemp plastic and the handmade paper that we're going to get from Paul Stanford in Portland. So my mission is to get everybody on the planet to give me a peace sign, and then I'll have a peace sign art show, book, and share it with the world. It's the only way to end war. So if you ever wanted to be an activist in our New Green Farmy, you can totally contact me, and we're going to be rebranding relieffoundation.org. Will now be relieffoundation-foundation.net.
It's been hard to stay silent with all that's going on. In my mind, I get it. I hear what's being said from all corners of our earth. I get it when you're controlled by what you're thinking. In our heads, we hear, if you fight me, I'll fight you harder. If you curse me, I'll curse you and yours even stronger. That is how our mind thinks, speaking without listening to the spirit. It is a mind that is not connected to the soul. The spirit knows that fighting harder, cursing stronger, hating longer will never end. It just gets easier to use a knife, a gun, a drone, or a bomb. All in the name of blood spilled on the ground to leave more lives buried in the ground, never reaching higher ground. To any of the leaders that feel that this is the only way, I ask you to be brave enough to say, in your way is the. Am I the only one that sees this? I stand up with peace. I stand up with love. That's who I am. That is what God made me of. I stand down on war, and I stand down on hate. We cannot let revenge be our unimaginable fate.
So everybody, it's time. It's freaking time. Let's end this and give thanks for all the OGs, Willie at the Super Bowl, and Tom Lehrman at Harvest Cup, and Bobby MAGA.
Can change that. Sign the petition, raise your voice, and Edwin Rubis has spent decades behind bars for a non-violent marijuana conviction. While the world moves forward, he's still locked up for a plant. Together, we can change that. Sign the petition, raise your voice.
I'm a breathe that. Every night I hold on to these bars and wonder if they remember the man I was before them. I made mistakes, but the sky don't belong to mistakes. One day, I'm a breathe that.
I'm working for you, man. I love you. And so at the count of three, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, my name is Edwin Rubis, and I wanted to say hello to everybody. I am still in prison. I'm still serving 40 years for a nonviolent marijuana crime. I have been in prison for 28 years, and I need your assistance and I need your help.
Okay, love you, man. Let's get me there. I love you. 28
Right.
freaking
Bye.
years, everybody.
Bye.
Let's end prohibition together.
Parade.
3.
This is Tommy Chong for Lifers Madness.
My pleasure to be part of the pollution during the pollution. Good afternoon, everybody. Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap. Please don't forget, don't bogart that joint. Originator. They still deserve my buddy Stash.
Some
Come
support.
Come back. We need
Here's
you,
that
Stash.
QR code. Do it now. It'll
Roll
help.
another one.
And let's not forget Jack
Just like
Harrer,
the other one.
the father of the
And Jackie
movement.
Boy.
Oh, Jeff, you've been so naughty this year that I brought you something I know you'll absolutely hate. It's a whole pack of anti-legalization bumper stickers.
Oh no, I hate those.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Oh,
Parade.
Hardy har. Sorry I had the...
Free the prisoners, free the plant, free the planet, free yourself.
Oh yeah, that's all I got, everybody. Let's go back to our incredibleness here. Let's see if I can get us back to our presentation here. No, that's not it. Remove that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull us back into presenting stage here. Let's see if I can get Vivian back on. We're in Zoom. So now let's see here. We're sharing our screen. We unshare our screen. That's what we get for having low budget. Nobody in the back office here. And so yeah, there's so many reasons why we need to stay on board the gravy train and fight for peace and Eva revolution. And let me get to my program here. Hang on. So I'm going to go boom, share screen with window. I'm going to try to find my Zoom. There it is. Okay, cool. I'm learning this new software, everybody, so bear with me. We've got Vivian McPeak here today. Vivian, let me go find our article, and I'll share that with the crowd. In the meantime, tell us a little bit about your book and what Protestival is, and how you're feeling, and if there's a glimmer of hope.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Thank you.
There is always a glimmer of hope. That's my opinion. You know, I'm an activist, and as you are, and activists we kind of are fueled by hope. You know, hope, helping others perceive enlightenment, among other acronyms. Yeah, I was the director of Seattle Hemp Fest, the executive director for 25 of my 28 years with the organization. And during my tenure, we became the largest annual cannabis reform event in the world and the largest annual free speech event in America. We were bringing at one point in excess of 100,000 people to our event every year. And in our 20th anniversary was in 2011. And so I wrote a book called Protestival, a 20-year retrospective of Seattle Hemp Fest. I probably have it somewhere around here, but here we go. I can grab one right here. And this is what the book looks like. It's my crazy self on the main stage.
Wasn't there some goodies in there, like a big rolling paper or a CD?
There is a DVD. Remember those? A full-length DVD of our documentary "No Prison for Pot," which celebrated the 10th anniversary. But it's full of photographs. There's 160 pictures in it, and artwork and stuff like that. All of our posters that we ever put out are in there and everything, right? This is 100% roach paper art by Chronic Art, our buddy Cliff Maynard. And so the book basically chronicles all 20 years. Each chapter is a year. Each chapter starts with a full-page glossy image of the poster from that year, and it basically tells the story and describes the event and the organization, and I think that the event was one thing, and the organization, the people, the community that powered HempFest, all volunteer for almost 30 years, is the biggest story of the whole thing. And I have to be honest, I'm frustrated with the status of the legalization movement at the moment. We accomplished good things. It was a mixed bag. We definitely have moved things in a forward direction, but we got a lot more work to do. And there's this kind of idea that, at least in my state, California, Oregon, all these other quasi-legal retail states, that cannabis is legal, that pot's legal. It's not. It's federally illegal. And, it is cool. It's great. You can go down to a store in many states, buy an ounce of weed, get in your car, drive off. You don't even need to look in the rearview mirror because there's no worry that you're going to get pulled over by a cop. And if you do get pulled over in my state, Washington here, our state, the smell of weed's not even justification to search your car. They don't even train dogs anymore, the police dogs, to smell weed.
You mean because I look like a hippie, they're gonna search my car?
They can't.
They can or cannot?
Well, not legally. They need probable cause. Looking like a hippie's not crime.
Right.
And now smelling like weed is not a crime. You might have just bought weed, right? Just the smell of weed alone is no longer justification to search your car, right?
Right.
They need something else. And you could even have a bag of weed on the seat. But if that weed is still in an unopened package from a cannabis store, then they can just say, oh, a nice weed, sir. Have a good day, right? That's good. That's all positive stuff. But to this old cannaphile, this old hempo sapien, legalization means there's nobody in jails or prisons for cannabis. That's what it always meant to me, right? And that's not the reality right now, as you know, because your show is partially based on the concept that we need to get everybody out of jails and prisons for cannabis. So we got a lot of work to do, but we've lost tremendous momentum because there's this idea out there that, well, what is there to do, we can't even get legal weed here in Washington State, legal cultivation, because people are like, well, why do you need to grow your weed? You can just go to a store and buy it. Well, there's a lot of reasons that you should be able to grow your own weed, right? But the sense of crisis, the sense of urgency, the sense of outrage is not there like it used to be. And the other weird thing that, that I'm dissatisfied about and frustrated about is during the struggle, to legalize cannabis. And this was happening in communities all across America, and community activists all across America were working hard, pounding the pavement and throwing events and, running initiatives and gathering signatures and, lobbying their elected representatives and stuff. All this stuff was going on. And we always had this idea that someday there'll be like money, it'll be like legitimized, and there'll be like retail sales, and there'll be actually an industry that could finance reform efforts, because we're doing all this with nothing, right? And people are literally selling weed or growing weed and using the money from that to try to change the laws while they're trying to live as well. And so now we've got this giant retail industry that's literally generating billions of dollars, but the money for reform efforts is completely dried up. And 501c3 and other cannabis organizations, reform organizations, are struggling, if not going the way of the dodo bird.
Vivian.
So we need a renewed push. We need a renewed consciousness that we still got brothers and sisters languishing in prisons, and some of them are in prison for years for the same thing that other people are simultaneously doing legally and buying homes off of, and boats and what have you, right?
You mean making millions and not having the the awareness and the empathy to start throwing the money to end prohibition for the prisoners?
Yeah, because they're like, everything's fine right now. I mean, I don't want to paint everyone in the industry like this, because that's not the case, right?
Correct.
There actually are a handful, I'm going to say a handful of cannabis entrepreneurs, cannapreneurs, who are trying to do something about this, right? But we even had, in Washington State, we've had an initiative on the ballot for, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years or legislation in the House and Senate here, the state government, to legalize home grow. We've got some cannabis businesses like lobbying against that, saying we don't want to legalize home grow because I'll make a little bit less money in my store, right? Because maybe 5% people will not be buying my weed, right? Once again, there are other groups. I'll just name a few, like the Washington Bud Company, right? they are actually trying to legalize home grown because they're down, man, because they are righteous, right?
Right.
And there's actually a business, there's actually a trade organization called the Cannabis Alliance of cannabis businesses, Washington State cannabis business, and they're trying aggressively to legalize home cultivation of cannabis, legal cultivation. So once again, it's not everybody, but there are elements, right? Because there's big money in it. But where's the money to get people out of jails and prisons? The other thing that I'm frustrated about is that we have an advancing climate catastrophe with climate change, and it literally threatens us with possible extinction as a species, with certain complete degradation of quality of life, and possibly, chasing everybody from equatorial regions north and having the largest migration in the history of humanity, which will be a catastrophe, and food crisis, food production disruption, and everything, all the above, lack of drinkable water. And industrial hemp is one of the number one regenerative, renewable tools that can help mitigate the climate crisis. But unfortunately, the hemp industry...
Wait. So, enlighten the Luddites out there about the hemp plant, like Jack told us 50 years ago, is the most beautiful plant on the planet. But you're saying that it also helps with global warming. So by planting hemp, if I'm correct, it mitigates the soil and puts more nutrition back into our depleted freaking soil that we grow our vegetables in. And it also, when it grows 20 or 30 feet tall or 15 feet tall, it helps to sequester and filter the air with carbon.
Yes, but that's the tip of the iceberg, right? Yes, cannabis has incredible root system that can help with fight soil erosion and replenish the dirt with nitrogen and on and on. But it's more that the products that can be made out of hemp can greatly help mitigate this advancing climate change. For example, hempcrete, right? Right now we've got wars going on in Ukraine, in Iran. We've got bombs dropping and exploding. They're destroying cement structures all over the place. Not only do the bombs release massive negative emissions, right? But every time one of these cement structures is demolished, it releases stuff into the atmosphere that increases climate change. And
so the particles that are the byproduct of war are slowing down and fucking up the atmosphere.
Correct, but it goes deeper than that. Every one of these buildings needs to be replaced. The very process of building with cement is climate damaging, and it's toxic and caustic. You've got to wear protection when you work with cement.
Recording in progress.
It's toxic, etc. But hempcrete, which is cement made out of hemp and straw, is not only carbon neutral, it's carbon negative. It pulls carbon out, it sequesters carbon out of the air for years as it hardens and what's the word? Anyway.
As it cures, as it cures. My father, who was a green architect in Mexico for 30 years, and he started here, but he couldn't get through the red tape, so he moved to Mexico to prove his point, and he was a Bucky Fuller kind of guy, and Buck said, we're going to run out of trees and everything on the planet, so let's stop building houses with sticks. And so that's when he designed the dome and everything. But my dad said that that gypsum, you can clean the smokestacks and get gypsum, and gypsum also will, and it's a byproduct of certain things, will help to clean the air.
And so, but hempcrete is just one thing. right?
Well, there's hemp plastic, there's hemp fabric, and cotton is the dirtiest industry on the planet because of glyphosate.
When when the sale of oil goes down, and that's happening because of clean energy, alternative energy sources, then what does the oil industry do? The petrochemical industry, it makes more plastic because plastic's made out of oil, right? And plastic is a scourge on the environment.
Because they want to make a demand for more oil.
Of course. And which is, that's what we're seeing like on steroids, right, with this administration. In fact, with this thing going on in Iran and Ukraine, several things are happening. It's driving this spiking the price of oil, so that American oil companies are making trillions of dollars more profit, even though they don't need to import the oil through the Strait of Hormuz, because America is the largest producer of oil on the planet, contrary to what some people think. And so anyway, it's a cascading climate disaster. And anything that's made out of oil could be made out of hemp, right? And we can make hemp biodegradable plastics that aren't killing the oceans and showing up with nanoplastics in our bloodstreams, even in men's testicles. I mean, everywhere on the Arctic. They're finding it in the Arctic ice. I mean, they're finding it at the bottom of the sea. They're finding.
You mean the polar bears are eating plastic?
And we are breathing it right now. We are breathing each breath. We are breathing microparticles of plastic every day, 24 hours a day. It's killing us. It's causing it actually increases a cancer risk, on and on and on and on and on. I mean, they were just tipping. We could, as we could do 10 shows on the ways that industrial hemp production can help to mitigate climate change, right? Not only, and it produces food and food, fuel, fiber, on and on and on, medicine, and don't take my word for it. I just did an interview. I have my own podcast. I just interviewed American author and filmmaker Doug Fine, and his new documentary, American Hemp Farmer, is coming to public stations and PBS, the PBS app, on March 14th. It's called American Hemp Farmer. It is awesome. It follows Doug and 1 year of a hemp farming operation. And he is funny and clever, but he's also an encyclopedia of information. It's called American Hemp Farmer. It shows up on PBS on March 14th on the PBS app, and it'll be also airing on PBS stations. And you should actually have him on your show. I could hook you up. This is one of the ways we save our planet, because if we don't save it, our planet will survive, but we'll be toast. And unfortunately, a bunch of innocent species also are being lost that have nothing to do with all this.
Well, it's everything that we're talking about, and it goes without saying, but those who are new to our show, we're here at Weeds Day, episode 303 here, everybody. Everybody on our show, that's listening to us, we corroborate, we give testimonials. I bring people in because I don't tell you that hemp will cure your cancer. I don't tell you that hemp will save the planet, but it's obvious that it will, and that it can, and that these are people that are not lying when they come on our show. So March 14th, American Hemp Farmers on PBS. Can you see that, Vivian?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with my fancy software, not AI, but III, through film, everybody, we can save, or we can spread the word bigger. We can get millions of people to watch this and then say, yes, I want my children to grow hemp. So let me come back to you, Vivian, here. I got to get back to my Zoom room. So this week I had a grant writing team come in and help me with the NOAA project. The NOAA project that I'm doing with 3DSD to print these 3D printed dome homes on a bladder where we do concrete and then we do a layer of hempcrete for the best insulation on the planet, and then we do the concrete again. And guess what, everybody? That dome can be printed in a day. It's 40 feet. We can do a 30-footer. They're low income, low, environmental footprint, and we can print a house in a day. And so just think about Gaza, think about Ukraine, think about Israel and Los Angeles that lost thousands of homes. To print dome homes and to get a new generation of humans to grow millions of acres, not 1 million, but millions of acres. I mean, Chris Boucher who's a hemp farmer right now down in San Diego, is fantastically knowledgeable about, the boll weevils and how to be successful in growing hemp. And we can teach the world to plant hemp for plastic, paper, fiber, fuel, medicine.
Yes, and we have 12,000 homeless people here in King County. They could all be in a hemp dome home. And I want to rename hemp concrete right now, Croncrete.
The chronic creek. Concrete. I love
chronic,
it.
It's the chronic concrete, right? It's
got it. And we should have Jeff Bridges do a new movie about Tron. And we'll do
call it Cron because Tron gets baked.
Yeah.
Right? And it's Cron.
Oh, wait. That leads me into a segue here. Okay, hey, hold that thought. We're gonna share my screen here. This is gonna be cool here. See if I can do this here. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna go add this little movie here. Okay.
He is sitting in a tree, smoking a joint, when a lizard walks past. The lizard looks up and says to the monkey, "Hey, what are you doing?" The monkey says, "Smoking a joint. Come up and join me, my cold-blooded friend." So the lizard climbs up and sits next to the monkey, and they have another joint. After a while, the lizard says his mouth is dry and that he's going to get a drink from the river. At the riverbank, the lizard is so stoned that he leans too far over and falls in. A crocodile sees this and swims over to the stoned lizard, helping him to the side. He then asks the lizard, "What's the matter with you?" The lizard explains to the crocodile that he was sitting in the tree, smoking a joint with his new monkey friend. He then explained how his mouth got dry and that he was so wasted that when he went to get a drink from the river, he fell in. The inquisitive crocodile says he has to check this out. He walks into the jungle and finds the tree where the monkey is sitting, finishing a joint. He looks up and says, "Hey, monkey." The monkey looks down and says, "Fuck, dude, how much water did you drink?" Share this if you like it. The monkey.
So there's
monkey is sitting in a tree, smoking.
There's humor in everything, everybody, and we want to not laugh at the stories that we tell, but remember that
lizard walks.
Hang on, let's see if I can.
Jeff and a monkey sitting in a tree. TOKING.
Okay, hang on. I got to get us back here.
That's my contribution to this.
Okay, add to stage. So here we are. Okay, Vivian, your camera's down. Your camera's down. Hang on.
My camera's down.
Hang on. There you are. Okay, cool. We got you. So the monkey and the lizard were smoking a joint. They got boned out, and the lizard fell into the river, and the crocodile came up and said, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" And he saved him, and he pulled him out of the water, and they were just kicking back, and they were doing what we all do, and when we were kids, we were freaking freaked out to smoke. We had to smoke at 420 behind the schoolyard and in the garage and blah, blah, blah. And so the lizard and the crocodile were making friends, and the crocodile went over to the tree and said, "Hey, monkey, what's going on?" And the monkey said, "Wow, crocodile." He thought that was his lizard. "You turned into how much water did you drink?" So they're all boned out. And that's how we should be. If we could get everybody high and realize, everybody, that plant medicine is here for a reason. It's safer than alcohol. And alcohol's cool with moderation, everybody. My parents came home and had a Mai Tai and they relaxed, so this is our Mai Tai.
Yeah, we had people with Seattle Hemp Fest. We had people say, yeah, the Hemp Fest and everything, but I don't smoke weed. I don't use weed. I said, well, that's interesting because Hemp Fest isn't about smoking weed. And I said, what? I said, it's about freedom of choice. It's about your freedom to choose whether you want to smoke weed or not, right? It wasn't a struggle to make everybody smoke weed. There's a struggle to say we have the right to smoke weed. And that's how civil rights and human rights works, is it's not necessarily promoting something except the freedom to choose for yourself. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I don't like cigarette smoke. I hate it. It bothers the hell out of me, but I think people have a right, if that's what they want to do, if that makes them happy or what have you, even though I question that, most people I know, I think they have the right to do it. I support people's right to do things that I don't like, as long as it's not, if they're in a room with me, then I don't want them to smoke. If they're in my house, I don't want them to smoke a cigarette because it's affecting me. But as long as it's not affecting me, I don't care. And cannabis is like one of these things, like, where is the victims of cannabis? Well, they're only the people in jails and prisons. That's it. Nobody ever said, I didn't mean to beat you, honey. It was the joint. Nobody who robs a bank to satisfy their marijuana addiction. I mean,
Wait, on the way to go to the bank, if you're stoned, to rob a bank, you got to stop at 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee.
Yeah, unfortunately, they robbed the 7-Eleven first, right?
Remember the Slurpee?
To get the Slurpee.
Right? Who invented that word, Slurpee? Vivian, why don't you, since you're going to be at the concert with us, and up on stage with the we saw Public Enemy E, Arrest and PC. You gave us some really incredible, fantastic music that was about freedom, and standing up for your rights, not unlike Bob Marley. And E just passed on recently. So, Brother Joe Chronic with Chronic Magazine. And right here, everybody, look, I have a Chronic Magazine. So, we're now going to have an article, an OG article in every issue of Chronic Magazine. I mean, come on, you can smoke out and have this as your culture, everybody. This is our culture. It's a freaking cool magazine. And then Joe Chronic has his tequila coming out. Now check this out, everybody. This tequila that's coming out doesn't mean that you're going to get boned and stoned on tequila and that we're taking advantage of the alcohol industry. He's putting terpenes in it because you cannot legally put 420 in alcohol. And so that tequila is going to smell like bud. It's going to be cool. But that bottle that they've invented, that turns into a bong when you're done. That freaking tequila bottle. So thank God for E-Love and for all the music you've given us. But this is a segue into having our guest of honor today, Vivian McPeak, which I'll show you the article soon, everybody, that I wrote about.
I just want to say, Jeff, when it comes to Public Enemy, we really need to bring the noise so we can fight the power and be a rebel without a pause so that we can basically shut them down.
So the Public Enemy #1 is, I was told, if the enemy is hungry, feed him. So Vivian, give us a rap, a Public Enemy rap for E-Love.
I'm the wrong person. I just did. I just gave him my Public Enemy rap. I mean, they're foundational. They're the original OGs.
But give us one of your special raps, just for a couple seconds, so people can get a preview of our concert and why we're coming. Yeah.
I don't really have anything like that, but I come from a time in an ancient land. I got love in my heart. I got my head in the sand. I'm a spirit rider from the land of the light. I see what is wrong and I know what is right. There's one ideal, and it comes from the soul. Oh, it comes from the heart. Anyway, yeah, man, I got it going on.
It comes from the soul, and then we have a bowl.
Look inside your soul and believe your eyes. There's a big black hole that needs love to survive. If you don't believe truth is your master, good night, Irene, kiss the alabaster. Stars explode in orgasmic delight as the sun and the moon fornicate in the night. It's a universal semantic action. Planetary leave universe reaction. She eats tofu and granola too. She's a bean sprout with a green dragon tattoo. I can tell when I'm licked and I will cry uncle. She makes love like George the Jungle. Pass me the glass with the nectar of nature. I'm not concerned about nomenclature. I'll survive as a shaft of light. Say goodbye to the planet when the time is right. Truth, love, liberty, just flowing through the freedom of democracy, but inside that crowded police station, annihilation of a nation. That's a nugget for you. Just a
Okay,
nugget.
and so Jeff Eichen here with Weeds Day, and we can't wait to get some cross members from your show. How many shows have you done? 2,000 or?
No, man. I'm close to 400 in 11 years.
Nice. Well, Paul Stanford, I think, has almost done 2,000. And I talked to him yesterday. He's gonna help me with getting hemp paper for. This is my printer right here. That's my big printer. And see all those ink cartridges, everybody. $80 a piece, so we're going to print some beautiful hemp art for our hemp museum and gallery. And there goes my office. And I'm really excited about selling specifically cannabis art, and then we'll get some people that are printing with the 3D spaghetti, and we'll get some 3D stuff in our museum, and we'll be online, and it'll be really beautiful. Because again, it's clean. Marijuana and hemp. So we spoke about Hempcrete today. We spoke about, I'm gonna share with you, everybody. Here, let's share with you the let's see, can you see this, Vivian? I'm gonna share my screen with you. And then let's see here. Oh no. Let's go backwards here. Let's go backwards here. So we're going to go backwards. Okay. Can you see this, Vivian? I'm going to bring up your article here. Okay. Can you see your article there?
No.
No. So you can't see that. So I'm going to remove that. Remove. And put us back on stage here. Okay.
When did that interview take place?
That interview took place from my head. When we had our last show, you and I, when I interviewed you, that's what I took a lot of that from there. And so I want you to edit that if you want, or we'll go with it.
Okay.
Okay, so hang on just a minute. I got somebody thinking they want to come into the session here. Let's see where we got. How's everybody doing today? Let's see here. So we're gonna go boom out, and we got boom. So in the midst of the of the universal crimes that we all have to pay. We're going to pave the road for Rodimus Pera, who's very, very free and very beautiful, and a friend of mine of, have we been together almost 50 years now?
No. 42 years.
Okay. That's
Vivian.
That's the root of 420 there, right? You guys are on your way.
I never thought of it that way.
Wait. But that's Zafar. That's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 42.
Yes, the answer to the universal question. But you know what the question is? What comes before zero?
The egg.
42. 420. I figured out the question.
What becomes before zero? 420. 0.
Yes.
42.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. I was like, what's the question? I finally realized a few years ago. Of course. It's what comes before 0, 42.
Thank you so much, Vivian. I now know the answer to the universe.
Yes, grasshopper, snatch the nugget from my hand. It is time to smoke.
Rodimus, tell the audience your favorite protest song.
Oh my gosh. Probably, I know this is going to date me, but If I Had a Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Out of the blue. Van Vivian, how about you?
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe Long Time Gone or Long Time Gone or Ohio, I think. I'd have to go with CSNY, but I mean, that's just off the cuff. There's so many. You know,
since you had 2, I have Superstition and I have Something Happening Here. What it is ain't exactly clear. You know.
I also like George Clinton's Double O Bulletproof. Those are a couple of good songs.
Yeah, and I think Steppenwolf Monster or War Pigs are both not necessarily protest, but social commentary to the point of resistance, man.
Mm-hmm. And war, what is it good for?
Oh,
absolutely
man.
Nothing.
Yes.
Say it again.
And Marvin Gaye, you know, what's happened, you know, what's going on, you know, and
What's Happening was the first title of that.
What's Happening, and what about
working on it.
What about Blowing in the Wind?
I mean,
oh,
what the
There's
heck?
a lot of good. See, there's so many good protest songs. Why aren't we singing it in the streets every day in front of the White House?
Some people are, but certainly not enough, man. I mean, our lives need to be a protest song at this point. You know what I'm saying? Our freaking
That's hard to do.
lives.
That's well. See, you, Vivian, you have like incredible street cred, you know, because you've been doing things like that for so many years. That's why I'm in complete awe and respect of you, man. But it is hard when you haven't made that your life's cause to then, you know, sort of put down this day job and go do that. You know, that's like really, really tough for most people. You know, we can just go to a protest.
You're absolutely right, and I thank you for that opening. Right. First of all, I just want to say that it's your world. Shape it or someone else will.
Wow.
We've got someone else shaping our world right now. That's most sinister group of folks, right?
Yeah.
But the important thing is, I think, is that activism and protest, it takes all kinds of forms. I mean, every big act, every little, don't ever underestimate your ability to make a difference. And big things are solved by by a lot of small solutions, right? And big problems start locally. So locally is where your most power is. That's where you can actually change things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's so small. Just putting an American flag stamp and putting it upside down on your envelope, it will still work. It'll still work, but maybe just the postman, maybe only the postman sees that and says, right? To large things, every little thing, you're in the supermarket, you're talking to somebody, hey, I love that bumper sticker on the back of your car. By the way, I'm involved in this local group, right? Having done activism for 40 years, community activism, organizing, protests, all the above, there's a lot of ways that can manifest. And how you use your dollar, everything you buy is a statement. It's a statement of support and endorsement. Actually, it's funding something. Everything you buy is actually funding something. Does that thing you're buying line up with your values and your principles, right? Your beliefs. And if not, man, don't give them your money. Give it to somebody else. So maybe there's a website that you order everything off so it's delivered to your house because it's cheap and convenient. Maybe instead you could say, well, who are they getting it from? Who's the source of that? Maybe I'll get it directly from them and it'll take a few days more. Or maybe you got to go pick it up, right? Or maybe it'll cost me a couple bucks. But it's not going to just end the world. It's not going to destroy democracy. It's not going to kill the environment, right? It's not going to feed this monster out there fueled by billionaires.
So everybody tighten their belt up with who you support and with your law of attraction, who you hang out with and what you talk about. And And what show you watch? We're on Weeds Day, everybody. Episode 303.
Oh, I had no idea. See you guys later. No.
Hey, Vivian, has Jeff revealed to you the incredible job he did on this article he's submitting to Chronic Magazine? Did he tell you about that?
You know, I have heard something about that.
Yeah, well, I had the privilege of seeing an early galley of the page, and he did a bang-up job, and you're really properly honored on it, and I think you'll be very happy when you see it. So
thank you. I'll be hempy even.
You'll be, and that too. Can you be happy and hempy at the same time?
I believe you can. Hempiness is a warm pipe, you know.
Hempiness is a warm pipe. Yeah,
toke.
Good one.
Puff, puff.
Oh, well, there Jeff's just throwing it up on the screen because he couldn't stand keeping it he couldn't stand the mystique of keeping it under wraps until it got published. But there it is. Of course, we can't.
That's really cool, except for that monstrosity in the middle, the picture of some monstrosity in a.
Oh, stop it, Vivian! You're your own worst enemy, just like all of us.
I'm my own worst enema. Might be more accurate.
Ouch!
Hey, I'm behind you all the way, man.
With CBA hemp juice from Juicetiva, we will have a hemp enema. Yes, thank you.
Jeff, he can't read it there. So take it away. Let it wait for it to be in the magazine.
That's our little teaser, everybody. Joe Chronic has communicated with me today. He's really looking forward to our article, and it's going to go in the next issue of Chronic Magazine with all the beautiful stuff. And so we support all the Chronic magazines, Skunk and High Timers.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
on that picture of I have it actually right here somewhere. On that picture of that artwork, that collage of me made out of all roach papers where I'm with the pot plant.
Right.
Does it give credit to our brother who did that in there somewhere?
You text that to me and I will put that underneath there because it's not published yet. It hasn't gone out.
Yeah, let's give our brother credit from Chronic.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yes. Everybody deserves credit.
He literally smokes joints so that he can open up the roach and cut the papers into various shades like a palette, and then takes an X-Acto knife and glues these roach papers like a mosaic to make the most incredible.
Wow. Do you have the original of that?
And here's my original that he just delivered to me of that particular one.
That's made with. Are you serious? That's how it's made?
There's no ink. There's no paint. This is 100. Let me get it up so you can see.
Jesus, that's amazing. I had no idea.
Wait. I don't. That is totally amazing. We're gonna put some of his OGs in the.
And you see the different colors of hemp
yes,
paper?
Oh my God, that's insanely cool. What a brilliant artist. He's brilliant. That's brilliant. And he did a portrait. Your likeness is rendered in roach art. How fucking cool is that?
Yeah, I told him I'm so sorry I had to smoke the painting. I ran out of weed. But I tasted good, man. I got really high off of me.
Oh my God.
I'm getting high off of you right now.
Well, hey, just.
And the lizard became a crocodile.
Telling you.
That's the moral of this story. Rodimus didn't get it. We had a joke earlier today where the monkey was in the tree smoking a joint with the lizard, and the lizard got so high that he fell off the tree into the river, and the crocodile found him and pushed him up on the shore and saved his life. And they were hanging out, and they were very stoned. And so the lizard was just going like this and rocking back and forth. And the crocodile went over to the tree and said, "Hey," to the monkey, "I got your buddy out of the water. I saved him." And he said, "Whoa," to the crocodile. He thought he was the lizard. He says, "How much water did you drink?"
Yeah, I hope that the weed wasn't as weak as that joke.
Well, the crocodile looked like a big fucking lizard, you know, and so how much water did you drink? And he thought that
You know where I lost you? Because you didn't say who was talking. So you didn't say when the monkey was talking with, so I didn't follow it because you didn't say who was saying what.
Well, the joke was earlier. The joke was earlier. But anyways, that's the gist of the joke. And so here, everybody at we talk about things that that make a difference and why people shouldn't be in fucking jail for marijuana.
Let the frogs and crocodiles get stoned. God darn it!
Dag nabbit!
Come on,
Snatch the pebble.
Soak it up.
You know, so
Legalize weed, or we won't stop telling the joke.
There you go. That's a good one.
Well, everybody at my house, Mickey is always at 420. So Mickey's at 420. So that and it's not a joke, everybody. 420 can save the world. We talked today, Rodimus, about global warming through hemp saving the planet, the mitigation of the soil, the air being cleaned by it, growing it, and so if we myopically, everybody that is in each individual industry, what we love and go towards. If you write, symphony music or jazz, you play symphonic music, you play tango. But for us, we're loving the 420 sector and segment of the world. We love that plant is uniquely its own and it does so many things. But we also support nobody being in jail for a plant.
Hey, Vivian, just out of curiosity, what are some of the things that you're aware of that are going on right now in the States that have to do with any kind of a festival, smoking type of stuff? You have your finger on that pulse. What can you tell us is going on in that area?
I think that a more accurate statement would be I used to have my finger on that pulse. Festivals, things are, the last Seattle Hemp Fest was 2019. It was our 28th year. Then the pandemic just like wiped us off the face of the earth, along with tens of thousands of other entities, right? The world's kind of changed in that, that 7 years since a little bit. And it's harder to monetize a festival than it used to be. We've got inflation. People are struggling more. A lot of things happen in the netherworld, in the interwebs now, young people on Snapchat, Instagram. No, just prefacing that to say that not that events aren't happening, they are. But I know of a couple that are probably, this is going to be their last year because they're struggling. And a large part they're fueled by the industry, right? Because you need advertisers, sponsors, right? Sponsors. Right. You need to raise money somehow. So I'm sad to say I hate to say this. I kind of moved on to fighting for freedom and democracy right now because there's such a threat to that. So I don't have a great answer for that, and I apologize.
No worries. Okay.
That's a great question. You would think that I would have an answer for, but unfortunately I don't.
Okay, that's no worries. I appreciate your honesty.
But they need to happen. They need to happen. I support them very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm wondering how any online communities will form if there is so much oversight now on the part of these large corporations that are running social media, who can monitor things like the reason why Jeff had to change the name of this podcast to using 33 instead of double E for Weeds Day. He had to use W33, because he got his thing on Facebook got stopped because
it's very threatening. It's very alarming that all of our information distribution and our networking now, we have these corporate overlords that could stop it at any point. And
exactly,
they are in some
cases.
Think,
and that's been intentional. They've been able to position themselves in order to be able to do that, which means that if there is, not if, but when a movement does begin, it will have to be through some other medium. perhaps than the popular ones that are out there now.
And as you know, protest is my thing, and I have a lot of ideas about that, and I'll be very succinct and brief because I know that we're probably nearing the end of this incredible.
This is my show. We can go on as long as we need to. So carry on, boys.
My brother. There are a lot of traditional techniques. You know, originally it was broadsides, right? In like the 13 colonies, they had a big, giant board in the middle of the village or the town square, and the people would put, handbills up, and that's where freedom of speech came from. Really, that's how they would communicate, right? Was these posters, right, on the walls, right. And that still happens. I mean, it goes back as there's graffiti, right? I mean, you write something on a damn wall in Europe and stuff, Banksy or what have you. And then like through like the 80s, right? The 70s and 80s, zines were a big thing, right? And in the 90s, you could produce your own, like punk rock and stuff. You could produce your own zine. You go to Kinko's. They used to have this group called the Peace Heathens, community action group, volunteer, protest or community activist group. Sure. And we'd spend all night at Kinko's making these handmade zines, right?
That's right. Yeah.
They would just leave stacks of them. We'd leave stacks of them in a coffee shop or wherever, right? And they'd just take them for free. Sidewalk chalk, right, is actually, I'm a big proponent of sidewalk chalk to promote events and stuff, protests, because it's not really destruction of property. It's just when the rain comes, it's gone, or the wind, right? There's a lot of ways that we could be communicating. To be honest with you, I have a large social media presence. I have a social media. It used to be a large, but now people 100,000, 600,000 is a large presence. Mine's like maybe only 12 or 17,000. But I twice in the last year, I went on and said, everybody, I wouldn't be surprised if my account gets deactivated at some point. If they either shut it all down or shut people like me who are so vocally critical of the current, paradigm. If you would like to stay in contact with me, worst case scenario, DM me and we'll trade our phone numbers and email. And I did that to several hundred people, got a hold of me, and we traded our contact. And these are people many people I've never met, but they're righteous brothers and sisters that I love and respect because they've been, I got some social media friends since MySpace, right? And we traded our information. So if we get clamped down, which happens, it happened to Jeff, right? At some point, I predict that either an administration or a state attorney general or the actual companies are going to say, you can't say this anymore, right? And they're shadow banning already, right? And there's all of a sudden, you're deactivated, and you don't have an account anymore, and you can't do an account, right, with one of these platforms. And the next thing that would happen would be, maybe your internet's shut off. Sorry, no, we've got a direct order. We can't give you internet, right?
So maybe the hand flyer will come back, you mean, or something?
I think we need to remember that we become dependent on these centralized. What if there's a solar flare and it wipes everything out?
I wish.
What do we do, right? So we need to remember that these traditional methods of communication that predated all this centralized stuff going through some corporation. By the way, it's got a copy of everything you ever said forever, right? Whatever you say on social media, man, you can't erase that. And you could very well, 10 years later, you could be in a courtroom and they say, let's bring up the screen what Vivian McPeak said. Right. Gee, Mr. McPeak, that seems subversive, blah, 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 right?
Right.
That's happened to people in other contexts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Smoke signals are cool, but most of us don't know how to read them anymore. Things like this, this podcast is so essential. This is independent media. Independent media is what we need. And writing on a wall is independent media. Putting a poster on a pole is independent media,
Well, here also is something that needs to stay. Print media.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can sit on the throne in the morning and you can read it and know it and say it and share it, in a different way that we grew up with. Yeah.
Your fingertips.
Yeah. you know?
and pass it on to somebody.
Yeah.
And
right.
10 years later, 20 years later, you can still pick it up and look at it, where some post that you made 20 years later is like gone, right? And your children could inherit your magazines and go, wow, look at this, I'm in High Times, I've got High Times going all the way back to 1970s, right? And they're sacred to me, right? Well, what some post is gone, right? I mean, where are you going to find it?
Good point. Good point. Well, yeah. So I've been thinking about stuff like that lately. Is how will a movement get going again? How will we be able to effectively do something that is subversive, in the sense that it goes against the corporate, mandates and is effective? I guess it'll have to rise on its own. See, all movements, as you know, have happened when people had enough. It's like I've had enough. And somebody else said, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And if 1,000 people say we've had enough, then all of a sudden there's a get together and music and food and this and that, and then we have an event,
Because everybody says I've had enough, and one person says, what are we going to do about it?
Right.
And that's when shit happens.
Right.
Well,
So
I'm throwing my hat in still for the concert, so we can recreate and repossess, Woodstock. I mean, it was something that no one ever forgot, and it was during Vietnam era, and we had Hanoi, we had all these people that still for 50 years have been talked about, and they listen to that music and so on and so forth. So I'm still rooting for, through music, that the musicians are going to step up, step out, and step in.
Do you remember that song, Please Release Me, Let Me Go, from like the 1960s?
Yeah, I remember it.
Please release me, let me go.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Interesting.
Just throwing that out there.
Was that about two people breaking up?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We need to break up with prohibition, man. It's a failed relationship.
Right?
It's an abusive relationship.
Oh my God. Without a doubt. Well, everybody, let's through music, through holding hands, through persistence, through all we've learned, where's Steal This Book? I mean, I have so many books, but Steal This Book, what have we learned from all the big protesters of the planet is that not just to write the next book, but to be the next book.
One way that we could communicate, by the way, speaking of Steal This Book, there's a chapter in there. And one of the things that Abby Hoffman wrote about was that you can take an envelope and you can say, well, you can address it to you, and you can put in the return address the person you want to mail it to, and then drop it in a mailbox without a stamp. And they will return it to sender, which means it'll go to the person that you wanted to mail it to for free.
Oh, no.
That's subversive. That's subversive, right?
I wonder if that would work today. So we should experiment with that and see if that would still work.
I've been wanting to. I mean, I think so. If you put something in without a stamp, they send it back to
Vivian, send me something tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, I'll try that, bro.
I'll text you my. Well, everybody, we are the solution, and we are. Yeah, here, everybody, give a 3. Vivian, give us a 3. There we go. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. It's so important, everybody, to have this dinner with Andre, dinner with Mom Dre, and bring the women in, everybody. Bring the hemp, chiquiquitas, we love you, women of weed, and stay with us, and everybody be nice to each other, and realize that every country is having being affected by what's going on by a few people, and the few people that are in my world, I want us to help to produce this concert. Through Chronic Magazine, we have a new article coming out, everybody, with Vivian McPeak right there. And Rodimus is helping us doing design work and supporting us all the time, every time. We're supporting him. We can't wait to visit with him in France and, and in the dance and everywhere. And, the romance of the romancing the stone is, is the great emerald, the one that's gonna be our kryptonite to help to bring the prisoners home. Everybody, it's Jeff Eichen with Weeds Day, episode 303. I'm gonna go around the horn and say last words. Vivian, last words.
Yes, this is a podcast of men. There's a lot of protesticles here. We need to bring in the hemp estrogen.
Vivian, Rodimus, final words.
Episode 303.
Oh, there you go. 303. We're really blessed. We have good.
Wait, were you doing gangster? Were you doing gangster there? Was that it?
Gonster.
Gangster.
Wait.
Gangster.
Wait, here, gongster here. So I ring the bell of freedom, everybody. Ring the bell of freedom. We need it more than ever. It's fucked up out there, everybody. And we're not going to hold back, and we're not going to go super political on our show. We're going to tell you why plant medicine is the next level of getting rid of your PTSD, of loving your gal, and marijuana is the gateway drug to the munchies.
Hey, it's an honor to be here with you both this evening, and just let's keep it all going.
Jeff, Rodimus, so much love to both of you and my brothers, man. We are the light at the end of our tunnels. That's what we need to remember.
And I'll just say one thing to both of your ladies: peace on earth to both of your ladies, and health and Godspeed. And Rodimus, thank you. I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later. And Vivian, let's get me the name of the gentleman that did the roach art, and we'll put it in the article. I promise.
Coming at you right now via text on one of these evil platforms.
Okay. Peace in the Middle East, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen with Weeds Day. That's all we got today. So smoke it if you can, and find your strain that doesn't make you beat your girlfriend up, or be mean. So be nice to each other, everybody. Hemp hooray. That's all I got.
Recording stopped.
Okay, everybody. I'm still on live here. Let's get me back on let's see here. Boom, there I am. So I'm actually getting more familiar with this new platform that I'm using, and it seems to be really cool. And let's see if we can
I got so damn high that I couldn't ride my bike home. My mama told me all along my brain cells would be gone. She ain't wrong. I'm still stoned.
So there you go, everybody. Here we go with
President Trump, please release and pardon Edwin Rubis. He is still in prison for a non-cannabis crime.
Free the prisoners, free the plant, free the planet, free yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. Rest in peace, brother E-Love from Public Enemy, and Joe Chronic's incredible friend and partner in crime, and help us from the other side. E-Love, your music was beautiful, and you stood for everything that we're doing right now. It looks like a lot of people are getting on board the wagon train to do protest music. We have Stash Wagner. We have doing a remake of Don't Bogart That Joint, and we have incredible help from Joe Chronic. We met Joe in Seattle this week, so Joe and I are now bros for life, and he's going to help with the concert and everything else. So keep it going, you guys, and keep it flowing. My heart is out for you and the whole community when we lose a OG from the Cannabis Society and space that we have. But Rip, brother, Rip.
Let me see that magazine, man. Let me see that. Who on the cover, man? Who on the cover?
It's Iron Mike, the best of all time. No doubt about it.
There it is,
Man,
y'all.
Iron Mike.
December 5th, y'all.
Jeff Eichen here.
Rest in peace, E.
Cannabis is the greatest plant on this earth, and it should be used properly. And don't believe all that negative propaganda that has been forced upon us over the last 100 years or so.
I'm threatening a cannabis art gallery with beautiful images on hemp and hemp plastic and the handmade paper that we're going to get from Paul Stanford in Portland. So my mission is to get everybody on the planet to give me a peace sign, and then I'll have a peace sign art show, book, and share it with the world. It's the only way to end war. So if you ever wanted to be an activist in our New Green Farmy, you can totally contact me, and we're going to be rebranding relieffoundation.org. Will now be relieffoundation-foundation.net. My brother Stevie is here.
It's been hard to stay silent with all that's going on. In my mind, I get it. I hear what's being said from all corners of our earth. I get it when you're controlled by what you're thinking. In our heads, we hear, if you fight me, I'll fight you harder. If you curse me, I'll curse you and yours even stronger. That is how our mind thinks, speaking without listening to the spirit. It is the mind that is not connected to the soul. The spirit knows that fighting harder, cursing stronger, hating longer will never end. It just gets easier to use a knife, a gun, a drone, or a bomb. All in the name of blood spilled on the ground to leave more lives buried in the ground, never reaching higher ground. To any of the leaders that feel that this is the only way, I ask you to be brave enough to say, in your way is the. Am I the only one that sees this? I stand up with peace. I stand up with love. That's who I am. That is what God made me of. I stand down on war, and I stand down on hate. We cannot let revenge be our unimaginable fate.
So everybody, it's time. It's freaking time. Let's end this and give thanks for all the OGs, Willie at the Super Bowl, and Tom Lehrman at Harvest Cup, and Bobby MAGA.
You can change that. Sign the petition, raise your voice, and Edwin Rubis has spent decades behind bars for a non-violent marijuana conviction. While the world moves forward, he's still locked up for a plant. Together, we can change that. Sign the petition, raise your voice.
I'ma breathe that. Every night I hold on to these bars and wonder if they remember the man I was before them. I made mistakes, but the sky don't belong to mistakes. One day, I'ma breathe that.
I'm working for you, man. I love you. And so at the count of three, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, my name is Edwin Rubis, and I wanted to say hello to everybody. I am still in prison. I'm still serving 40 years for a non-violent marijuana crime. I have been in prison for 28 years, and I need your assistance and I need your help.
Okay, love you, man. Let's get me there. I love you.
Bye.
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 Happy parade.
This is Tommy Chong for Lifers.
And 3.
Madness.
With Tommy Chong. Good afternoon, everybody. Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap.
Please don't forget, don't bogart that joint originator. they still deserve
Come back,
some
Stat.
support.
Love you.
Here's their QR code. Do it now. It'll help.
And let's not forget Jack Harrer, the father of the movement.
Oh, Jeff. You've been so naughty this year that I brought you something I know you'll absolutely hate. It's a whole pack of anti-legalization bumper stickers.
Oh, no, I hate those.
Merry
I
Christmas.
hate those.
Happy parade.
Free the prisoners, free the plant, free the planet, free yourself.
It's me, Jeff Eichen. It was a great show today. Episode 303, Protestival. Let's do a concert. Let's do Relief Aid. And everybody, see you next week. Campaign Parade.